Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Garage Studio Modelers. I'm Dave Forrest and I'm here with my good friend
Harvey Lowe.
And in today's episode, we're going to get back on Harvey's Sheridan build. And if the viewers might remember, this is something that we started back, well, before the pandemic.
Yes.
Right? Or
yes.
just started before
just before the pandemic.
So Harvey's kind of resurrected the build and is going to talk about what he's done to the kit so far and the vehicle that he's doing and all of the aftermarket and some of the techniques and tricks and tips that he's used to kind of get this along, and it looks like it's coming along quite nicely.
Yeah,
a lot of different multimedia build for sure.
Yeah, I like to build stuff that's a bit different. I can't build. Well, I can build out of box. I do aircraft out of box a lot. But I prefer to build something that is either a representation of an actual vehicle, in which case this one is, or I'd like to build something that's really esoteric. It's just what I like to do. And this one I thought, well, Dave was so kind to give me this kit for my birthday way back, I think, 3-4 years ago. What do I do with Sheridan, right? Like, do I build it out of box? I don't know anything about Sheridans. I am less a Vietnam War expert on tanks and armor. So I thought, let's do a little bit of research and I'll talk a bit about that today. But this is the kit. This is the new Tamiya Sheridan, not to be confused with
the old one.
Yes. Which came out when? Probably 70s, Dave?
Oof.
Like a long time ago.
80s, yeah.
70s, 80s, long time back. So this is a brand new tool.
This is a much newer and improved version of the kit.
It is.
No parts in common. It's a complete redesign.
It's a complete brand new Tamiya kit. While we're on it, I think the only thing that we hear about Tamiya kits is the beautiful fit and all that. However, my only little quibbles about this kit, just generally, and they're not many, are the very delicate smoke discharges. They're really fiddly, and the fit was only okay. Other than that, it's a beautiful Tamiya kit. I also found the plastic soft.
Is that right?
Yeah. Be interested from the viewers if they had that. I found that this is softer than typical Tamiya. I don't know if you had that on your the current Stummel you're doing, but when you cut it apart, because this plastic is so soft, like that new Airfix plastic.
Yeah, no, I've never.
It cuts too much off because it's very soft.
No, that's never been my experience.
But great kit.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I mean, and let's be fair. The subject is not exactly. Look at the shape of the turret. It's very asymmetrical, right? A lot of different angles and whatnot. So I guess, yeah. I mean,
I don't know
kudos. Yeah, kudos to Tamiya for
sure
for getting it together, and it looks
perfect. I don't know anything about it, but I heard it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You guys can tell us if this Sheridan is accurate, but certainly Tamiya always do their homework.
Certainly a good exercise in engineering.
Yeah, this just fits in and it just turns and moves. To me,
as you would expect from Tamiya.
Yeah. Just fits right in, and it just look at that. The engineering is perfect. So we'll go a bit about that, but why don't I show you some of the things that I bought. Do you ever have a habit where maybe it's me, but when I buy a kit, do you ever go online and search for extra parts and aftermarket accessories?
No. When do I not go online and search for that? Yeah. Oh, of course.
But I'm gonna tell you, viewers, that Dave has a problem. When he buys aftermarket, he'll put it in this box, and only that box, and then so you'll find your Italian parts here, your German parts there.
I don't know what happens sometimes. I just open up random kits and random aftermarkets in there, maybe in a rush to get something.
You just want to buy it? Did you tell me you bought 2 of the same parts? Didn't we do a trade last week?
Yes.
What did you buy? What did you buy again?
Stowage for the M18 Hellcat.
Oh yeah.
I bought 2 sets of it. Like within a couple of weeks. Like it's not like I bought it like a year ago and then forgot. It's like
And I bought 2 of the mass sets for the 148th Airfix Blenheim.
Yes.
And I bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
So we just traded.
We traded.
So it works. So back to this. Let's get that out of the way. So again, we're working with the Tamiya Sheridan. First thing I bought is this.
That's just stowage basket? What is that?
FC model stowage basket. Right? Item 35543.
3D printing.
Yeah.
It's just revolutionizing this
Let's talk.
this hobby. Yeah. It really
Let's
is.
talk
Yeah.
about that, eh? What are your thoughts about that, David?
Well, I think it's a good thing. So here's my view on that. So I think it's a good thing because it allows increased accuracy, detail, and ease of use.
Yep.
Let's be very clear.
Okay.
Ease of use, right? The purist among us might say, "Hey, it's a cheat," right? Because in the old days, you'd have to either let's put photo
like this one.
You'd have to scratch build this.
You would. All the frames.
Yeah.
And the mesh.
Yeah.
That's true.
And my good friend Harvey, you might do that. And you'd be very capable of doing that.
Time consuming.
Not so much.
Time
I would
consuming.
not bother. So I think what it does is I think the benefit is that it opens up that ability to detail to probably the vast majority of the modeler community that isn't able or doesn't have the patience or doesn't want to attempt to do the scratch building of that type of thing.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
So I think it's a great. You look at the tracks, like the
Yeah.
3D printed
You
tracks.
should talk about those in the
Yeah,
episode.
I should have brought it up in the stumble, but I'll show in another episode. But minor models they 3D print pre-assembled workable tracks that all you have to do is just cut them off the thing and you just assemble the last piece and there you go, right?
It has pins in them, so they actually are workable.
Yeah, but it's all 3D. It comes out of the box.
3D.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they printed like that. I don't think somebody actually assembles it all for you. So I'm assuming they printed like that, and I think that's the future of this hobby.
It
That's where
is.
it's going.
It is.
And now you're seeing more and more stuff online where people are just 3D printing the entire, and they're doing different subjects.
Yeah.
Right, not so much historical, but like a lot of science fiction. There's a lot of Star Wars.
A
and
lot,
other sci-fi
a lot
out
of
there.
figures. Another episode, Robert, we'll do one on 3D printing because I did buy a 3D
That's right,
printer
yeah.
over Christmas. I bought a Frozen 8K. We'll talk about that in the future.
That's a whole different topic. But I'm a fan. Like I love it. I think it's great. I love the detail of it. I love the ease of the assembly of the tracks. I love the accuracy of it. Like you can get the actual casting numbers on the track. Like you can get detail you just couldn't get before.
So like all things we do in this channel, Dave, you swapped out you put on the tracks on your was it your Stummel or was
Yes.
it, yeah. So
I use this
tracks
AFV Aftermarket plastic tracks, right? And they're all like I just had trouble getting them all crooked.
The pads were kind of crooked,
yeah,
right?
so I just ripped them all off, and I ordered this set from Miner, and that's what's going to go on.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll do that. We'll show that in a separate episode.
Well, we're still on 3D. When you mentioned that, when I scratch built that. Now, if you look at this for a scratch builder, if the old way, you're doing everything by eye. You're measuring. To do these frames would be long process. Forget it. But this is one piece.
Yeah.
So this is by FC Model Trend, and I believe you can get these from B&A as well. B&A models.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still readily available, but not exactly cheap. But one piece, and look at this. All I did was I glued it here and I anchored it on one side.
So how do you glue them?
Super glue.
Super glue.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this one needed super glue because it's so delicate. If I use 5-minute epoxy, it takes too long, I think.
So what I usually do is I'll use plastic cement to get it in place.
Really?
Hold it long enough so that I can do a more precise job of applying the super glue to it.
Get out.
Yeah.
Really? What cement do you use? How would it stick to resin? Does it stick?
Because it's the same thing. It's like if you use the Tamiya super thin or the MIG Ammo super thin, which I love the MIG Ammo paint or the glue rather.
Yeah.
What it does is it melts the plastic just enough to fuse. Whether it's photo etch or whether it's the 3D stuff to it, just to hold it in place. So it's not permanent. And then you can strengthen it with super thin super glue.
This is not rehearsed. I didn't know this. So.
Yeah, I find that. Yeah, I think it's a great. That's what I did on the Sherman that I showed in the previous episode. Is that all that stuff I secured with.
Try that next time.
Yeah, like the smaller stuff. The finer stuff, like the fenders and the bigger pieces. No, you can't do that.
Well, this is pretty delicate. There's only attachment point there and there. But I figured, yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll try that next time because then you have time to move it around, right? Do you?
Yeah. Well.
Kinda.
No, because it fuses it right away.
Okay.
Right, but you can use if you use the thin glue, not the super thin, but the thin, then you can move it around a bit. But the whole purpose is that you kind of fit it. You use that to set it really quickly, temporarily.
Yeah.
And then you have a little bit more time to get in there with a more permanent bond with.
Now I used the gap filling here, which gave me some time to move it around. But I anchored here and I anchored there, right? And
but does that leave? Like, do you have to go after? Like, do you have to go with like remover to take the excess off? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's always an option.
That's okay,
too, right? Yeah.
But so I anchored it here, and then I simply made sure that it was straight, and then I anchored it on this side. And by sheer luck, it goes beyond this little attachment detail there. This little structural attachment, it goes right over it. But the fit is like, it's pretty good. It goes right around the turret ring there in the back, and it fits perfectly. So this is the first thing I bought, and I'll talk a little bit about which Sheridan version that I'm doing in a reference in a moment. So I got this thing, and then here's another FC models. This is the Sheridan Twin MG mount set, okay, that I bought also from FC. Now we're talking about the benefits of 3D printing, but here's some problems. Now this is the machine gun that came with it, but look, the 3D print not great on barrels. Look at the barrel.
Yeah, kind of droopy.
I'm going to replace that with metal, right? But look, it's droopy.
Yeah.
And then you've got to cut out very delicately the gun sight and everything off the back, and it doesn't really tell you what to cut off. There's all sorts of mounting things in there.
I'm not a big fan.
You know,
I love the 3D print, but I'm not a big fan of the translucent.
No.
It's hard to see.
It's
work
hard.
With, right?
Good
like,
point.
I like the thicker opaque.
Good
like
point.
either pink stuff or gray stuff. Like
I don't like
translucent whites.
translucent.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Detail's nice, but I don't know how. This is brittle too, so I don't know how that's going to get that gun sight off. But this is. I needed to have a double MG mount because I'm doing a specific vehicle, which I'll talk about in a moment. But you're right. It would be better if it was a solid color.
Yeah.
It comes with this, and then it comes with the Browning 30 cal. Comes with a special shield. Oh, how are they?
Yeah.
They're just as.
Are they droopy as well?
They're droopy, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera. They're look, it's crooked.
Well, it doesn't look. Well, yeah, I don't.
It's crooked.
Yeah, I see it now.
And then if you look closely at the details, it's kind of off. I think I'd replace the whole 30 cal. With all due respect, I mean.
Or do you just get like a RB?
I could.
Barrel
I did order. And see if I can.
I think the body's probably fine.
The body's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a bit soft, but the gun shield's nice. You need a double.
Yeah.
You need the double shield. I'm going to rip these barrels off. So that's the second thing I bought.
So 3D printing isn't everything.
Isn't everything, but it's not bad. Then I'm not going in any order. Then I bought. I think you need it for this kit. There's the barrel set. You get the barrel and the photo etch set for the Tamiya kit.
Now, in the kit, is it a single piece barrel?
It is, and it looks like this. See, but look, you can look at that's pretty hard to clean up.
Yeah, because of the these bands or whatever. Yeah, you're right. You can't clean that up. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do. And anyways, you get a certain amount of satisfaction when you buy a Tamiya barrel for a Tamiya kit because it just glides right in. It just sits right in.
Yeah.
So you really want the metal barrel.
Yeah. If there's any like features to the barrel, yeah, you probably want to get another one. Yeah?
This one just fit right in.
Not have to deal with it. Yeah.
And while we're on it, it comes with the so the kit comes with this mesh, which is for the anti-rocket. And you see on the front here, the screening on the front of the vehicle. It's this screen here, right? It comes with that, but I don't like this stuff.
No, like.
Right? Yeah. So the Tamiya kit comes with this.
Aftermarket?
No, this is what came with the kit.
Oh, okay.
But I find it's that hard steel stuff.
That's that nickel.
I don't like
crap. Yeah.
It's hard to cut.
It's hard to cut. It's hard to sand.
It's hard to sand. I bought a aftermarket. I also, because I buy a lot of aftermarket, I did buy a more brass set from Feather Series.
That's Voyager, I guess?
Yes, yeah. Voyager, that does that, which I used on the back engine deck. Now, yes, I bought the barrel. It also comes with See, I'm buying all sorts of grill
So
stuff.
this is much finer, right?
It is, and easier to work with. Now, why did I use these
Same reason.
instead of the
Yeah.
nickel?
Yeah. They're hard to cut, and you bend it, and they're hard to bend back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So the brass is better. Now I know I'll use this for something
Beautiful
else.
kits, if you guys could put proper photo etch in there instead of this nickel
stuff. No.
crap, then...
Hard to cut.
Yeah.
Really hard to cut. I remember I did was it once? What's the
and
largest?
why even, what's this?
Yeah, it's...
Come on, guys.
I don't know what I could do with this.
Yeah.
Right?
In today's world, where everybody putting all the photo etch and 3D printed stuff, and to me, it's still doing this stuff.
It just seems odd. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Really. I did a 1/16th Tamiya Panther, where I bought... No, I can't remember now. It came with aftermarket, or I bought it, aftermarket side skirts. And they were so hard to cut. I literally had... I couldn't cut it with anything. And then I did the battle damage. You know how I did the battle damage? Okay, this is going to be totally politically incorrect. I tried to punch holes in it, couldn't do it. It was thick, 1/16th. I went up north to my friend's cottage, and we loaded his shotgun with buckshot.
And you shot it with...
I just shot it. And I said, which one's good? Seriously, that's what I did. And it worked, but it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
But no, nickel...
Yeah, I'm not... Yeah, that stuff, that's crap.
No good.
Beautiful kits, the engineering is stunning, it's second to none, but if they could just add that other proper photo etch to it, that
Good point,
would
David.
be out of the park.
Good point, David. So that I bought. Then I got these decals for it, which are
Echelon.
which are
Those are
fantastic.
the best farmer
They're
decals around. Yeah, they're very thin, they go on great, they just suck into the finish, they look painted on.
They do. I'll talk about it in a moment because that's the one I'm doing. I've got some photos that I sent to Robert. He's going to put on the screen. I'll talk about it in a moment. But these are great, eh?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Echelon.
Now, I know this is a family program, but I bought these Playboy posters from Archer.
Oh, you need your glasses for these.
Yeah, because I thought you see a lot of Vietnam vehicles and aircraft with Playboy posters in them.
And you got the actual magazines from the back. That's nice. That's very cool.
Now, are Archers still in this?
I heard they're out. They're out now.
Too bad.
They're out of business. Yeah, they had some nice stuff, nice, the casting marks that they have, the resin casting marks, the resin weld seams, all the different separate numerals where you could make up your own vehicle numbers.
Yeah, get them when you
This
can.
stuff.
Yeah, then they're gone, right?
Yeah, then they're gone. The instrument dials and stuff like that. Yeah, it's too bad they're...
So the old cardinal rule is if you see something like decals,
yeah. Oh yeah, get them.
photo get them.
Yeah.
Get them because they're gone.
Limited runs, right?
Don't worry about the Tamiya kits; they'll always be there. It's the aftermarket.
You got it.
So that's about the only aftermarket I got.
So this thing here, this is scratch. That's complete. That is scratch built.
It's scratch. Yeah. Let's talk about what a good segue. We don't rehearse this. Let's talk about this vehicle. So yes, what is this? As David asks, it is a stowage bin field applied, where they added jerry cans and other things because the Sheridan apparently didn't have a lot of stowage inside the vehicle and outside. So that's why you've got the basket, you've got the stowage, and I don't have a picture of it that I gave Robert, but it is in this. Now we're talking about references, okay? This is a book by Sabat Publications by my good friends Chris Morosco and Brett Avance. You can still get these. Sprue Brothers, blah, blah, blah. So I got this off Brett at a show for a really great price. And I am doing the vehicle on the cover.
So there's a historical record.
There is a historical record. And it's really from this book. It's fabulous. And I won't do a review of the book, but it's got pictures, historical pictures of the vehicles in Vietnam and modern.
Well, that's a nice thing. I mean, I'm a big believer in references as well, because not only do you maybe get the specific vehicle you're working on, but you get an idea of all the stowage and stuff on it, the weathering on it, what it looked like, right?
Look at these color photos. It gives you an idea of the weathering. Now we're going to do an episode when I get into the weathering. But you got any of these, Sabbath? I know you do.
I do have a couple. Yeah. Yeah, they're great references. They're really second to none.
So, in the photos that I sent Robert, and he'll flash them on the screen now, basically he'll show you on the screen as we speak what the cover looks like. And in the photos that are being shown now on the screen, that Robert will edit in later, show the vehicle that I'm doing. So I'm just going through 5 photos, and you can see those 5 photos of the vehicle that I'm doing. This is one photo which I didn't send him, but you can see there's the stowage on the top there, and I'm using it as a reference. It's clearly field applied. It's crooked as heck.
Yeah. Yeah. But it adds like a level of realism, right? And it's going to be a unique build of this particular kit.
Yes, it's this kit. It's this one.
Look at that. Even the color plate of it.
The color plate. Now, the only thing with the color plate is there's no. You forgot to add the. I don't know.
What do you see in the pictures? Yeah.
You see in the pictures. So this one is. I'll just read it. 551 Sheridan body count. B Troop 1st Squadron, 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment, South Vietnam. I don't think I'm going to do the tarp because I want to.
You're going to see it. Yeah, you're going to hide everything with the tarp.
I'm not going to replicate the equipment on it per photo. I'm just going to put stuff on it because it would have changed. But great reference on Sheridan. And for you folks, I'm not going to belabor the Sheridan, but it first saw action in January '69, and basically went in service right up through to about the Kuwait and Liberation.
Desert Storm. Yeah,
Desert Storm. And apparently they were in training units in the U.S. up until total retirement in 2003. My understanding of the vehicle, and I'm not going to belabor it because you guys can find info on it, it wasn't really a great vehicle for tank-to-tank combat because its armor was thin. If you can see the kit, it's got these little hooks on it which they strapped it to airborne aircraft. It was a light vehicle that they deployed in Vietnam, thin armor. Apparently what was good about it is that it was a great infantry support vehicle. But because it used caseless rounds, the propellant would guck up the guns. They had a lot of malfunctions apparently. Oh. And because its armor was thin, it doesn't show it on this particular vehicle, but this thing here, which is the anti-rocket netting, was why they added it. To prevent RPG rounds from hitting the...
So that's your early example of standoff armor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But because I'm doing this vehicle, and I think you alluded it to before in your work when you do on your Stuka Zufus, that you guys should, like I like picking a vehicle and then saying, all right, I'm going to do that. So in this case, you notice it doesn't have the rocket netting, anti-rocket netting. So this whole part, there's a part here. This part's in the kit, and this part apparently flipped up as a protector, I guess. So there's a little window the driver could see. See, it flipped up like that, but it's missing on this tank.
So you can leave it off.
Just
go
on. Yeah. Don't need it. So that goes in the spare parts box. Also, without to be particular, but you got to be careful if you're building a vehicle, so you don't put on all of these ammo boxes. They stop. You can see 3 there, but the kit gives you some more around the back. That was replaced by the stowage bin. So you don't need to do that.
Again, do your research. On the particular vehicle.
I haven't finished a stowage bin, but that basically covers all of the tow cable, shovels, all that there. You don't even have to add them. You can't see them. The plate covers it.
No, I just noticed one of these lights looks like it's a bit of a scratch build, or what happened?
Do you ever lose parts? And the thing got bumped and it fell. My headlamp, so I had to scratch build it. And by the time I painted, I don't think you can. I lost that. I lost the little rear light there. I lost one of the little. So, while we're at it, get one of these things. These little plastic trays with the lids.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
I'm just so stupid that I didn't have it sealed, and so I got all my parts for this here. They're all in there. But yes, thank you.
There isn't one build where some part doesn't go flying off into perpetuity. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The figures, I will put 2 in. So these guys, they're really nice. They're from the kit itself.
Oh, those are the kit figures. Okay.
These are the kit
Yeah,
figures.
to me, I gave them crap for the nickel foil etch stuff, but their figures,
Their figures
lately
are
have really come a long way. So,
Now
great
here's
job on the figures.
Now here's a little treat. Now I know I was yanking you guys' chain when you guys saw these figureheads. There's two little figureheads here. They're already painted, and I remember you saying, "Hey, Harv, they don't look bad." Well, I didn't do them. I didn't paint these. I got these as a gift from Calvin 10. Hey, Calvin, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I was in Singapore.
No offense, Harv, but I thought it was maybe a little bit beyond
I
figure
see.
painting.
Well, thank
maybe just a bit. I don't want to say anything, but now that you mention this,
Yeah, you just say, "Here, Harv, take these."
they're nice.
They're really nice, and so thank you, Calvin. And so I will put these. I might as well use them. And
Why wouldn't you?
yeah, so I'm going to put them on these
Of course you
figures,
would. Why wouldn't you?
and I'll even credit him when if I do an article on this thing. But the figures are beautiful, and I always coat them in black, and I'll go over painting them later. But what else? The other thing that's delicate that I wanted to mention is got these periscope.
Oh, yes.
That's what they're called, right?
Yeah, periscope.
Now, they're individual parts on this tiny, 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 and they're really tricky. Now, the carpet monster will swallow them up. There's like 10 of them you cut off. And I had to mask them, so I used the Humbrol mask on. You can see the purpleness there.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And so you put them in individually and then spray it. So that was a bit tricky.
Yeah, did you mask them before putting them on?
I did.
Yeah, smart.
I did.
Yeah.
And then here is the turret ring. So that goes on top here like that. Right? So it really begins to add character to the vehicle.
Different looking vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big fan of the Vietnam era armor, but this does.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Especially the version that you're building,
Yeah.
right? With the basket and the
Totally.
the twin MGs.
Yeah,
and
the twin MGs and the
yeah, it
figures.
looks deadly.
Now Robert's gonna cut out. The only editing we're gonna do is he's gonna get some close-up shots with his other camera, and we'll focus down and give you a closer look at the vehicle. But before we do that, just to finish up, these are the wheels. Remember we talked about how you do your wheels on? I do mine separate. This is just a piece of foam that I got out of an old airbrush. I think it was an Iwata, right? And I just used toothpicks.
Perfect. Yeah, look at that.
And there's the black primer that I put on it.
Yeah, and just so what I would do is I'll just paint the olive drab or whatever the camel color is, and then not worry about the overs. Like just try and control the overs right.
Oh, so you'll just paint in the middle?
Yeah. That's all I do.
I should try that.
I just leave it because the weathering will go on the black and kind of tone it back down.
That's a good
overspray.
idea.
Like it just because you don't see it.
No, that's true. And it's like, oh my god, it takes so long.
Yeah, unless you're doing a pristine vehicle with like little to no mud on it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I do. But anyway,
That's a good point. So in finishing this, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go zoom in on a close up of this vehicle, and I'll talk a little bit more about the kit in specific. Okay, and we'll go to the close up camera right now. Okay, we're back to do a close up of this.
Yeah. So let's try this new setup here, and
Yeah.
now we can offer better, closer pictures of the of the model, and Robert doesn't have to get up and try and follow what we're doing here. So
It just shows more errors on my model, but that's okay. Okay, so there's a close up of the model. Now we talked about the basket ring. See the beautiful fit. It's gorgeous. Anchor one end, anchor the other. If you are applying these, I wouldn't just simply glue them in two places at the same time, right? Otherwise, it's going to warp it. So you anchor one end, and then you just kind of position it and you work on the other.
is that what you have to do here?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned, I'm not going to move the hull so you can see it, but I am going to talk about these guys, the smoke dischargers, right? They're fiddly. They're really fiddly. And what, to me it does, there's three parts to each smoke discharger, and they got these little labels on them, if you can see it here. See the little tabs?
Yeah.
They got numbers on them. And the tabs must fit into specific smoke dischargers. And then you cut those tabs off. So that's kind of a nice engineering, rather than using your fat fingers to try to like put them into the part. So you cut this off.
Oh, I see.
Right?
So it's just the end piece here that stays.
Yes.
The circular piece doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That is smart.
That is smart.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier to...
It's kind of like what they do with track teeth. sometimes.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Where you
yes,
kinda-
yes,
yeah,
yes.
okay. Very
Yes. So just finishing up, now that you've got a closer look at the model, you can see that there's the brass plates. Now I just used, I got those on. I used a disposable paintbrush, and I just painted on gap filling super glue.
So you know what? So I would
What do you
with
do?
these.
Yeah.
I would sit them in.
Yeah.
And then I would run super thin,
Around the edges.
either MIG ammo or the green Tamiya glue.
Yes.
Right there, the light green Tamiya cap, just to situate them.
Okay.
And then sometimes it's good enough to hold it, especially when you prime it, because the primer will come in and then you have time to run in a little bit of thin super glue to really fix it. But for me, because the super glue can be messy and you have to remove it.
It can, yeah.
But the other stuff evaporates. Like the
Right.
super thin plastic glue evaporates.
Yeah, you can't use my technique if the meshing underneath is straight and flat. But this one's grooved, so the glue sits in and it just...
Yeah. So it just
sits up nice.
fuses it
Got
melts
it.
the plastic just so that it gets a bit of a bond, and
Yeah.
then you can secure it more permanently.
So we'll see what it looks like when it's painted, because if it doesn't come out, just put stowage all over it right, to hide it. This is the base plate for the field applied.
But armor modeling is really the art of hiding your errors in some cases.
Yes, it
isn't
is.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
oh,
you
yeah.
You have that flexibility. You don't really get that with aircraft.
No.
You don't get it with shipbuilding. I'm not an
No.
expert on.
No.
You've done a lot more than I have. Probably the same thing on cars,
True.
right? So
Oh,
this,
very true on cars.
yeah, because it's pure fit and finish. Whereas this, you can cover stuff, whether
You
it's
can.
weathering, stowage, right? You have a lot more ability to recover from an error.
I would say, yeah. In fact,
More forgiving now.
it is. Now, cars, one day I will do one. I've got one of these Dakar, like rally cars, where you can muddy them up. That's different. But you're right. With these ones, you can begin to put stowage in and hide things. But I find with armor modeling, and this is the controversy, right? I still find that the armor guys in general, this is going to get controversial. I'll probably get a lot of emails. Like they really know the art of weathering,
Yes. Oh, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
But if you were to do an aircraft, I think a lot of aircraft some were clean, some were dirty. We talked about that in the weather. I think we did.
That can be a
piece
bit of
it.
a contentious subject.
It is.
For sure.
But if you're doing, again, if you're doing any aircraft like Guadalcanal, Cactus Air Force,
Yeah, again, it's that historical
be-
context.
they should be
like,
weathered.
where do they serve? What were they like? Where the crews have time to clean them up?
Right.
Are they always being rushed into service? Like, you've got to factor that into it, right? It helps tell the story. Right?
it
Going back
does.
to your-
It does. At Zeros at Pearl would be very clean, extremely clean. But a Zero and Rabal, dirty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
Okay. We digress.
we digress. But then here's the complicated armored Commander's cupola. Now, the only thing I wanted to point here, if you can see it in the camera here, you see, look, it's actually got a lot of sinkholes on the back. That's not good.
Oh, the ejection. Yeah, I see it. Fill those.
It's
Yeah.
like really in the, so before you put it on, make sure you fill those, because there's a lot of them here. Less so on the vehicle, right?
I've noticed that with the Hellcat, the M18 as well.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah, there are some that they put behind where you're never going to see it, and there's some that you have to address. You have to deal with.
This one you have to.
Yeah.
You can see it,
Yeah.
right? This is the driver's.
Oh, it goes in the middle. Yeah.
It goes over here.
Very nice.
And the neat little thing is you can see it kind of moves and opens. If you are adding the figure,
Oh, it's moved. Look at that.
it's movable.
Well done to me.
Yeah, well done. Why did I paint it separate? This is where you've got to plan your build. If you're going to put the figure in it, the figure's got to go in first. So don't glue it in and go, oh, I'm going to put a figure in it, and you just slot them in. It doesn't work that way. So always study instructions and figure out what you want to do. But the camera's giving a nice close-up view of the vehicle, and outside of the rather finicky smoke dischargers, it's not a bad kit. The only other weird thing is it's got this assembly. See, it moves. There's a little U-clip. I don't know if you can see it, right there.
And where does that go? Does that go against?
That goes against this.
And is that meant to secure it, or?
It's meant to. Well, it goes in here.
Yeah.
The only purpose that this thing has is it allows you to move and elevate the barrel. Like it just snaps in. It's just off right now. See, it's loose. Once you put it on that ring, it gives it resistance so that you can
so
move
it
the
stays
barrel.
in place because of
You
the weight
can
of the
move it
barrel.
up and down.
Right.
I mean, it's gimmicky. I don't know if I'm gonna, because what happens if it slips off that little part, the gun drops down. So I'll probably just glue it, so at an angle. See,
Don't have to worry about it.
It comes off so easily, but once you snap it in, it allows.
And it's just snapped. Like you don't glue that in.
You know, so you have a removable. See, without it, it just drops.
Yeah.
So I don't like a drooped barrel, so I'll probably just glue it in. Just something to watch for in the kit.
Interesting. Okay.
Right?
Good tip.
So that's it for the close-up. And
but that's I know we talked about it. And look at that light. So that nice recovery.
it's called an aggravated recovery.
Nice though. Well done.
Hey, do you guys ever know that when a part falls, like you're working on it, does it fall at your feet or does it jump to the end of the room?
Or does it go to another dimension?
Yeah, I can't find it. Do you realize that I was working on a Burma Lee, and I had a figure I was working on, and it fell on the floor and it's gone.
Yeah,
like that's a 35th scale figure.
There's been times where I've dropped a part and and where I work is a carpeted area.
Yeah.
So I will vacuum the carpeted area and then I'll empty the contents of the vacuum onto the floor and then parts and looking for it like a madman, you know, like. So we've all been there.
The only difference that I would do that you've done is I don't vacuum. I would get my wife to vacuum the part for me, and while I'm upstairs enjoying a coffee. But
Shirley, you're wonderful.
Yes,
we adore you, Shirley.
So why don't we just? I think that's it. Oh yes, one more thing. I'm going to take this away, and can you see that, Robert, in a close-up?
Yes.
See the tracks?
Mm-hmm.
Problem with the tracks? Look at all the tiny little sink marks. Would you fix those, Dave? Would you fix those?
Oh, sorry. What am I doing here? I can't see another thing.
You see it? There's tiny little. What's your opinion? Would you bother?
It depends if you see it or not.
The wheels cover probably half of them.
So this is the inside of the truck?
Yes. Well, it's the part that shows, right? It's this part here. You see where the wheels go?
Yeah.
There's some there too.
Yeah.
On the bottom, who cares?
Yeah, but you just take I would just take a quick sand to that. If you see it, right?
If you see it.
Yeah. Like if it's on the top and the back, you can see it.
But they're nice tracks.
Yeah. They're.
I prefer them to the vinyl.
Oh,
right?
Vinyl DS, like just.
Yeah, they're just.
Throw those out.
Throw those out.
Why? Well, the only exception is maybe the Shermans, right? Because they have the live track. Maybe a little bit easier than trying to replicate that tautness of the track with Lincoln length, but workable tracks. But
now the cool thing with this vehicle, again, this is the one I'm doing. The cool thing with this is this reference mentions that the left track was on backwards. It's actually on backwards.
Now you're going to replicate that?
Yes. But then I got to put it in a note if I'm entering it.
Yes.
The track is on backwards.
Yeah.
If you guys ever enter contests, make sure that you put those notes in because they may ding you. And I know competitions are not for everybody, but if they get serious, like an amps.
If they notice, just like that fin flash on that Spitfire build is reversed on purpose because the crew did it right. So I have documentation of that, and I always have to put that note to say, hey, the fin flash is reversed on purpose, right? Because they have the blue, the white, and the red as opposed to the red, the white, and the white.
Is that right? But did they do that by mistake?
Yeah, by mistake.
Really? Yeah, those are the things. So future episodes, I should have it primed, and I'll talk about, and maybe in the next episode, why I prime things black. I
love black. Black or dark brown. Those are my go-to. Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully I'll have this done, and we can talk a bit about. I'd like to talk about modulating, perhaps in the next episode on the Sheridan, and we'll spread them out as Robert sees fit.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right. Well, thanks for walking us through that, Harvey. Appreciate it. Like, really looking forward to, the next stages of this build. And it's a great, what a great subject. Very, very unique. And
just ending off, I know I don't normally do this, but a shout out to Facebook. I'm on a Chatterbox group build, and you guys can sign up. They reached out to me and said, Harvey, would you like to participate in a Chatterbox? It's called Chatterbox. It's about bombers. You can build any bomber, and they give you six months. I said yes because I like a challenge. So I'll be doing a Blenheim.
Oh, that's the Blenheim.
That's the Blenheim.
Yeah, okay, right.
And I promised the guys I'd mention that, and maybe I can talk a bit about that once the Chatterbox thing is over. I'll talk about the Mark I Blenheim that I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks, Harv. Great work so far. Looking forward to next stages, and we'll see everybody next time.
Bye bye.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.